Welcome back to Biashara Tuesday here on KUTV Rise Today. Of course, remember to always send us feedback all over social media platforms, and I am taking a look at that. And naona pale already guys who are tuned in to the show. Ojong Mariam anasema looking forward to the conversation we're going to have here with the spokesperson of the GOK, retired Colonel Cyrus Oguna atakuwa hapa hivi, so keep sending in your questions, and on Twitter as well guys who are tuning in. Ototo Ndege from the University of Nairobi. Daktari, habari yako kwako. Thank you for tuning in to the show, and also do spread the word and tell us who you want to tune in to this. I'm sitting here on set with the guys who are telling me that we don't have time, or however I know it's 7:46 and we do have time, but for them it matters of the environment. We Don't Have Time is the largest climate review platform that gives climate awareness. So we're going to get that climate awareness right about now, and I'm sitting down with the director, Mr. Patrick Kiario, and Sheila Nduta, who is the field officer over there at We Don't Have Time. They have a lot that is coming up, so tune in, give me any questions that you have. Najua watu kama Dennis ambao wako focused Youth Green Society movement, mambo ya environment, really good efforts there. You should tune into this one, and maybe you can get to partner with these guys for some of the several efforts that they're undertaking. Follow them on social media. In the meantime, tag them and also tag us as well at We Don't Have Time KE as we continue with this conversation. Karibu guys.
Asante.
Thank you.
I think I'll begin with the lady.
Okay.
Hi Sheila.
Hi, how are you doing?
How are you?
I'm great.
Maybe off the cuff, how many people call you Sheila instead of
A lot, 1,000.
right?
1,001.
Maybe you should walk around with an audio device.
It's Sheila.
Right?
Yeah.
Sheila. Welcome Sheila.
Thank you.
Field officer. What does a field officer do first of all?
Basically what I do is create awareness, tell people about us, recruit people.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to recruit people over to We Don't Have Time.
Yeah, sure.
Field officer. One director, Mr. Patrick.
Well, my name is Timothy.
You're Timothy.
Yes,
Right.
our director is in absentia,
okay.
but he's well represented.
Okay.
So my name is Timothy.
Shout out to the director.
Yeah, my name is Timothy Ndegwa, and I'm the partnership manager for We Don't Have Time Kenya chapter.
Partnership manager.
Yeah.
What does a partnership manager do?
Well, we work with like-minded organizations in trying to, meet the SDG number 17 that calls for partnerships, so as we can be able to realize sustainable goals. So we try to engage with like-minded organizations in trying to see how we can, come up with sustainable policies.
Right.
Yeah.
SDGs, of course.
Yeah.
And climate awareness is SDG. It's 12, Amma? Probably that. Let me be checking that in the meantime. However, we don't have time. Let me start with you. Why is it we don't have time? Why is it that negative?
Yes, we are saying we don't have time because it's as a result of what is happening in the recent times, whereby there's a lot that is happening as far as climate change is concerned, whereby we are experiencing change in weather patterns. Right now it's very hard to predict weather patterns, and also things to do with the increased sea levels, and all this has been as a result of human activity.
Right.
So that's why we are saying that we really don't have time to wait and see as things get from bad to worse. It's time for humanity to act and try to remedy the effects of climate change, because humanity is on the verge of extinction. So it's high time for us to act.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sheila, is the situation that dire? We really don't have time.
We really don't have time. We act as soon as yesterday. Yeah.
How is that now that you've been out in the field trying to recruit people to We Don't Have Time? Are they agreeing we really don't, or no one cares, or not many people care?
Well, people are a bit ignorant, but we are trying to change that. We are working on it. We try to create awareness as much as possible. I would say so far so good. Yeah.
You're saying everyone can and should be involved in this climate crisis solution.
Everyone should be. Yeah.
How can we be involved? Maybe the various ways in which people who are watching us can take part as we begin this conversation.
We are in every social media, but the best platform to be is We Don't Have Time. We have an app on Play Store. You can find it on Play Store. Google app. You just have to type We Don't Have Time. Download the app and be part of us.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a big team.
Yeah, it is. We have Over 65,000 users at the moment. Yeah.
Over 2,000.
65,000 users.
65,000.
Yeah, it's global.
All right.
Yeah.
How long ago was this started, sir?
So the organization started back in 2016 with its founder, that is Igmar Renzon, back in Sweden, Stockholm. So that's where the head office is.
Okay.
We also have an office in USA, Washington DC, and Kenya, which happens to be the African office.
Okay.
So primarily what we do is that, as Sheila has alluded to, we try to bridge the information gap that is there on matters to do with climate change or climate awareness rather, by offering a platform which is global, where people can engage on matters to do with climate through reviews, which are they're anchored in 3 categories. One is climate love, whereby we get to give an opportunity to people to encourage those people who are doing something good to the environment.
Right.
So a good example is the late Wangari Maathai's foundation. You know how they encouraged people to plant trees, and the foundation is still there, and it actually still walk through the talk by encouraging people to plant trees. So for such an organization, we praise them, we encourage them to do what they are doing, in trying to save the earth through a climate review lab. The other one is climate idea, whereby people get an opportunity to suggest ideas on how best we can conserve the environment. Maybe someone can give an idea or to an organization on maybe consider using degradable packaging materials, as a way of combating plastic pollution or limiting the production of plastics which are haphazard to the environment. So with such an idea, you're able to solve a solution. And there's that provision in our application through the climate idea review. And the last one is climate warning. With climate warning kind of a review, you get to interact, or you get to engage cautioning organizations that are engaging in activities that are affecting the environment in a negative way. Say, for example, an organization that is releasing its waste to the environment without having treated it.
Right.
So you can engage that organization through the platform. Cautioning it, calling it off to try and remedy that, because when you release waste without having treated it, this waste contains chemicals, and which again goes a long way to harm our planet, that is environment. Right. So after that, when it reaches to 100 agrees, we call them agrees. Agrees, yeah. Which it's what we can compare with likes, like for the Facebook.
Okay.
If 100 people agree with your review.
Agrees.
Yeah, agrees with you. Yeah. So we usually assume those are 100 voices. Those are people who have resonated with your idea or your idea, and then now the organization reaches out to the organization that you have targeted for a right of response on that, and through that we call for climate action. Yeah.
So you're not leaving this to these businesses are part of the problem, or this is part of the problem. How do we involve ourselves? How do we have communication with them, and how things can be turned around? You're trying to get people to join you guys, and maybe Sheila can get this from you. It could be tough really to rally people around a social cause like this one. So why should people join you? Why would you tell them is the reason? I know there's all of those goals that you need to climate warning and all of the other reviews that you've spoken about. However, why would they join you? They could maybe do something else, but maybe just appeal to them on the reasons why they should.
I mean, we have a lot of climate crisis that we are facing at the moment. I think we should all care about climate, and the reason they should join us is because if we don't, we are the last generation.
Right.
If we don't solve the climate crisis, we won't be existing in the next century.
Right.
Yeah.
So our existence is threatened.
Yeah, it is. So they should care. They should care, and they should be more involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you spoke about the app that you guys have. What exactly is in there? I know he's just mentioned about Agrees. I'm guessing that is what is on the platform as well.
Yeah.
So maybe a breakdown on what someone should expect once they download We Don't Have Time. What do they get there?
So We Don't Have Time works like Facebook, let me say, or Instagram. It's the same, but we post more about climate. There they'll find post about climate. They love the reviews that he has talked about. We'll find it's global, so you find more information in different countries, different continents. Yeah.
All right. And you're saying this is happening over on Play Store?
Yeah, on Play Store, Google Play. You can go to website.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a few, I don't know if I can call them tiers, of the agrees and how that works. So 100 agrees, a notification email is sent to the recipient asking for a response. And with more agrees comes more perks. Maybe a brief run through them? When your review reaches 250 agrees, then your review is published on our social media platforms. Just to try and amplify the voice, just to make it, to reach as many people as possible. Again, we don't have time is a social media platform, that squarely articulate issues to do with climate change. So when it also gets to 1,000 agrees, then we get an invite, a speaker invite to the person who had written the review, just to make the world aware of what solution he's offering. All right. So people be checking that out as we go on with this conversation. And now you had there's a launch that happened at Kenyatta University, which you are a part of. Maybe let's hear a bit about that, Sheila. And how did you guys get to have this sort of partnership, and what more can we expect in the future?
Okay, Timothy, being the partnership manager, you should be
best to respond to that.
Okay, so there was the Climate U initiative that was launched here at KU, and we were glad to grace the occasion. And it was an innovation. It's an innovation project they're having. And now we don't have time. It was it's a nice opportunity for us also, whereby us we're trying to bridge the information gap on matters to do with climate change. And now the initiative is coming up with an opportunity whereby people can it's an innovation hub whereby it gives people an opportunity to innovate sustainable innovations. So as we don't have time, we'll be using our platform now to amplify that, to make it known to the world that there's such an organization, there's such an initiative that is out there, that people can get solutions from there. So it was glad to hear that it's the young people who are actively involved in it. So we'll be there. We are partnering with them, trying to see how we can be able to make the world know of the solutions that young people have on how to combat climate change.
You're trying to bridge the information gap on matters of climate. And now, apart from maybe providing resources on the information, such as these social media platforms where people can engage and see what others are thinking, are there activities that you do in person that are ongoing, that you've done, or that you're planning?
We have activities like today. We have an activity called Team Environment. We'll be going to Gong Hills to plant trees there. We go for cleanups. We help people. We provide people with trees. We have a lot of activities. How
can people get to join in, especially even the one that's happening today?
You can join us at Gong Hills, I think, because it's too late to give them a formal invitation. So they can just join us at Gong Hills.
All right.
Other events, we can post them on social media. Follow us in every social media. To get more information.
I have a question. Now that you've mentioned on Gong Hills, I don't know if you've taken a hike on Gong Hills.
Oh, I have.
Right. It's a very beautiful space to be in. Last week I was having a conversation here with someone else who's been who's organizing hikes in these regions, and his main concern is that there's encroachment of human activity in some of these public spaces. So tuseme Ngong, watu wanaenda huko, have a good time, wanachafua. Apparently there's no good fence around somewhere like Ngong, which prevents maybe animals crossing in and not making it good for whatever activity the place is intended for. What can we do? Maybe I can get a take from each of you, from Patrick and then to Sheila. What can we do, or what can be done to ensure that we're protecting this kind of spaces, even as we champion the issue of climate action?
Well, it's Timothy. And so one thing we are trying to advocate is having nature-based solutions, whereby, you know, trying to protect the ecosystem, you know, and just allow itself to thrive. And with an example of what you said, the Ngong Hills. Yes, there have been encroachment where people have, you know, encroached the space. So what we can do is just, you know, allow nature to thrive by allowing, you know, planting trees. You know, when we plant trees, trees act as a great remedy for the carbon emissions, which again helps mitigate the global warming effect. So if we allow people to plant trees, and I'm glad that, you know, there are organizations that are already doing that. Team Environment, which is one of them, which will be partnering with it today in trying to, you know, to rehabilitate those Ngong Hills. So if people plant trees, if people embrace sustainable lifestyles, that includes the way we manage our waste. That it also includes the way we, you know, also when it also touches with our economy. We are trying to spearhead circular economy other than linear economy. With circular economy, it calls for, you know, recycle and reuse. So with that, you get to limit the amount of plastics that are produced. So that is one, planting of trees, managing waste, and also just being environmental conscious.
Right.
Yeah.
Sheila?
Like you said, they're going there to have fun, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going there for birthdays, how about you plant a tree equal to your ears?
Right?
Yeah. I mean, go have fun and do something constructive there. Yeah.
Do something to the environment and have fun with the environment to ensure that we're having, you know, something sustainable into the future where unaweza endelea na hizo sherehe zako. So I hope guys are aware of that. Now, there's also something you guys are organizing, which is Stockholm plus 50, 50 plus?
Stockholm plus 50.
Stockholm plus 50. What's it about?
Well, Stockholm. Thank you. So Stockholm, there will be an event that will be taking place on 3rd and 2nd and 3rd of June. That is has been titled Stockholm Plus 50. So it's a commemoration of 50 years since the first meeting that was held by UN on matters to do with environment and humanity. So the first meeting was held in 1972 back in Stockholm, Sweden. So the whole world will be marking it there, and Kenya being the headquarter of UNEP, it will also be co-hosting the event. So the main event will be at Stockholm, Sweden, and also at the UNEP offices we'll also be having a concurrent event. So the main aim of the event is just to see how just to journey and see the impact, the success that they've had, and also try to analyze the impact of countries coming together in trying to solve climate problems, how far they've come, and also we are aware that there are climatic goals that have been made by the world, among them being the Paris Agreement. So the countries also be evaluating how far are they in trying to achieve those goals, and the need and the need for maybe adjusting on how to go about them. So the main event will be there, and we don't have time. We'll be attending, led by our able director, Mr. Patrick Carrier. He'll be leading a team there, and they also the remaining team also will be gracing the event at the UNEP offices.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Sheila. Is there a way that people can also maybe attend, view, or participate in this?
Yeah. You can register on our app or on website. Register. Just go search for Stockholm. Register and be part of us. Yeah.
All right.
Also, if I can add something, we'll also have we don't have time, we'll also have a side broadcast on the event, just to try and amplify the climate action voice. We'll also be having a side event whereby we'll have panelists, to talk about various topics. So members can also sign up through our platform. That is, you don't have time, sign up and then get to see the broadcast, because we'll also have a broadcast on that. Yeah.
All right. I'm receiving 2 questions. I don't know who's going to take them, but up to you guys. This is Ian from Strathmore. He's asking, is it hopeless to turn around the situation on climate crisis? And Albinas, watching from Juja, is asking, does climate change affect my food, or is it about the environment and the weather?
To answer the second question,
maybe you should global warming anaingia kwa nyumba kwa freeze.
I think he's a foodie kama so definitely it's affecting everything. Climate change is affecting everything, because kuna heat waves, kukiwa na reforestation plant would grow. It's affecting everything at the moment. Yeah.
All right. So including food.
Including his fridge. Once using the fridge, it's a major issue.
All right.
Tell him to turn to solar energy or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sustainable means of sources of energy.
Yeah.
And the first question, of course, there was, is it hopeless to turn around the situation? Because you've said, I think they're picking it from we don't have time. So, well, we don't have time, then what should we do?
Yes, we don't have time. The situation is dire, I'll put it that way. But all is not lost. All is not lost. If we take charge and and rise up to the occasion, and that calls for a collaborative responsibility. If our government stops subsidizing fossil fuel, and start channeling those funds to innovations, green innovations, I think with that we'll be able to restore our ecosystem. And again, when the ecosystem thrives, everyone benefits. So it's not all is not lost with such organizations like We Don't Have Time. That is just to create awareness. Because one thing I've realized is that people really are so dire to conserve the environment. It's just that they don't know how to go about it.
Okay.
So it's a matter of availing the information and and making them aware what they ought to do.
Right.
And with that, we'll be able to have remedied the situation. So yes, we're in a crisis. It's a fact. It's something that we cannot give a deaf ear. But there's hope. There's something we can do. It's just a matter of changing our lifestyle, and then we're back to we are back on track.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe lastly now, Sheila, he's mentioned collaborative efforts between government, businesses, individuals in trying to push this conversation forward. I don't know if you have any pointers on how anyone else can get involved. Are there ways that other organizations which are also trying to do the same thing as you guys can partner with you guys? Do you feel like there's a way a government can also step in, apart maybe from not subsidizing fuel products and rechanneling that money? Are there other steps that businesses, governments, and individuals maybe finally we can give them to pursue?
Yeah, government can try to invest more on nature-based solution. It can also try to invest on indigenous communities, since these communities are dependent on the nature, hence causing the poverty. Yeah, so they are supposed to invest on nature at the moment. Yeah.
All right. Now we can get where they can get you on social media, how they can get this kind of information. You're trying to bridge that gap, as you said. They should definitely download We Don't Have Time and get to check out some of the reviews which have been left there, and also do post theirs. Natuangalia apo how many agrees you get. I'll definitely be checking it out. So any physical location that you guys have, and anything that you might want to inform people to come and join in as your last remarks.
Okay, thank you so much. And maybe add something that probably we didn't mention.
Yeah.
So in our engagement with reviews, we try to make it fun and enjoyable. So that means that at the end of every year, we get to award the best review on the 3 categories, that on the climate love, climate idea, and climate warning, with a cash prize of 2,500 USD.
Nice.
So as we try to offer solutions to the environment, we also try to make it more engaging and more interactive and also fun.
Okay.
So the other thing is that you can try and find us. Yes, the African office is in Thika, and in a building called Johanna Center, 4th floor, room 413, 414.
Okay.
You can find us there, and also you can also engage with us on our social media platforms that are on Instagram at We Don't Have Time, and also on Twitter at We Don't Have Time.
All right.
There's a question you asked on what is there hope? Yes, the hope is there. We say that change starts from an individual perspective.
Nice.
So it's for us as people, as individuals, we take initiatives in our respective places of influence. We try to champion for this change. It starts with the small things that matter. So if we be able to take individual responsibility, it's a small individual responsibility that we manifest now to the global change.
All right.
Yeah.
Sheila, last remarks.
Our slogan is we are the solution to the climate.
Yeah. The solution to the climate.
Yeah.
Of course, together we are the solution to the climate crisis, and that is what We Don't Have Time is trying to say to you. They plant a tree for every new member. So make sure you're joining them. It's free, by the way. Check it out. We don't have time. Let's turn around this situation as we go into the future. Continue this conversation on social media. Hashtag Biashara Tuesday. We'd love to hear your feedback. We are streaming live on Facebook at KUTV Kenya and also on your television sets. Interact with me at Richard_Kenya. Coming right up is the conversation we've been looking forward to this morning as well with the government spokesperson, Colonel Richard Cyrus Oguna. He's joining me in just a few minutes, of course, to have that conversation on the national government's development agenda and also how that ties with the youth. So tune in, give me your questions. I'll be forwarding them to him on real time. Atatujibu hapa hivi, hashtag Biashara Tuesday. Still on air, we're coming back. Don't go too far.